Hey, welcome everyone to Season 2, Episode number 11 of the Bosryers series. This time we are at Platbank, where we will be taking on the big boulder route, and this will conclude our three-part series at Platbank. Please join our Facebook group and remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Hey, how's it guys? Welcome to yet another epic adventure of the Bosryers. Today, or should I say rather, this whole weekend we are here at Platbank. There's three routes to choose from. First of all, we have the river route with beautiful scenic drive with cliffs and so forth, going through water streams, going over rocks. Secondly, we have the mountain drive that you can choose which way you're going to take it, whether you take it from the left, whether you take it from the right, it's up to you. And then the third route is a brand new route that they call the Jeep route. That's now for the big wheels. Recently discovered, today will only be the second time that this trail will be driven, and the bunch of vehicles behind me who will be doing the trail today, ranging from a 35-inch tire right up to a 42-inch tire, this is going to be quite epic. However, my vehicle will never be able to do this route with a small 31-inch tire, so I'll be driving this guy.
Kicking off this day, in front we have Rian Swanepoel, better known as Swanee, with a bad habit Jeep. And following right behind him we have Roelof and Rulien, driving Kryptonite.
Since I'm used to a short wheelbase vehicle, low ground clearance and small wheels with a manual gearbox, coming now to a very capable short wheelbase, high ground clearance, 37-inch wheels with a V8 engine, and automatic gearbox. Everything I know about 4x4 is completely different today. This is the start of the 4x4 trail that we're taking today, and we're not even really in the obstacle yet, and already I'm in a very off-camber situation. Something interesting about this route specifically that we're taking today is that it's roughly a 3-kilometer distance in total, but it's a 5-hour drive. So this is extremely technical. So this is extremely technical and definitely concentration. Definitely some concentration for the whole day.
And next up we have Miller and Wendy in the Grey Rhino. And last in the convoy we have Ronnie with Jaapie, the Platbank.
How this route that we are taking today came to existence is due to flooding. As floods came down, a huge amount of rocks came down from the mountain and ended up in this river bank, and this being a very tricky and very rocky and very technical section of the farm. So this is brand new and very exciting. Right, this section where I am now, it's kind of a huge step. I know for a fact my vehicle will never be able to do this, so driving with a capable vehicle, this is literally next level. I've experienced a little bit of scraping underneath. I assume that is from the rock sliders, and Johan does not seem to be worried about it, so definitely it should be the rock sliders doing the job.
The very first obstacle of the day is literally a double step up with a steep incline, and 3 out of the 5 vehicles got a scrape at the bottom of the vehicle.
We have a section now where it's like a huge S turn that we need to go through, very technical because huge rocks on both sides, but obviously some of the rocks is so big that there's just no way that the height of the vehicle can clear them, or your diff might get stuck. However, this is something that we need to do very graciously and very slowly, and definitely we need to have a line spotter in front. This is not something you do just with your own driving.
With the huge capabilities of Bad Habit, with the 42-inch wheels and a powerful Hemi V8 engine underneath the hood, Swan is negotiating his way through this rocky obstacle and making this look extremely easy. And all hats down for Roelof, who gave the reins over to Rulien to take on this rocky obstacle with the Jeep called Kryptonite. Roelof is outside giving some direction, and Rulien takes this obstacle beautifully.
Voor my met jou gegaan.
Go up, that's it. You can actually
This piece is quite stressful, it's very technical, very difficult, and also at the same time quite dangerous. Now this is where we test the OPH, the off-camber capabilities of this Jeep to the fullest. Well, to me it feels like the fullest. Obviously I don't know where the limit is, but what I can say is my own vehicle, I've never pushed it to this limit before.
Whenever there's an obstacle with a short knock or a sharp turn, the difference between a short wheelbase vehicle and a long wheelbase vehicle is quite evident.
Now I'm coming to one huge step, and this is also a place where you need to have your correct line with your line spotter in front, because if you slide off from the correct line, you might end up on your roof. It's narrow, high, with a huge downhill step to the right hand side of the vehicle. Going for double lockers on this specific section.
short wheelbase Jeeps came through this obstacle quite easily. However, the long wheelbase Jeep is a complete different story. As you can see, it's hung up on its belly.
Hy gaan nou klim. As hy
Wag, laat ek net so 'n bietjie loer. Waar aan hak ry nou so pens nou weer.
Luckily, Eugene from EA 4x4 was close by, so he assisted with some road building, and in no time, Miller was free to continue with the route. Bad habit driving where no other vehicle can drive, with Swanee behind the steering wheel and Corneille giving him lines. This looks way too easy. Now remember, the bigger your wheels, the higher your vehicle, the less visibility you have. So it's crucial, especially on an obstacle like this, to have a line spotter who knows what he's doing in front. And Rulin is still doing a great job behind the steering wheel of Kryptonite throughout this big boulder section. Now this was a complete new driving style for me. Remember, I'm not driving my own vehicle, so I do take it extremely cautious and trying my very best to respect Johan's vehicle. And this part of the route is extremely loose and technical, so to take it cautiously is definitely advisable. However, I must say, Rulin, well done. This is nice driving. Now we're coming into a section where we are moving over from rocks to loose sand while we are on an off-camber situation and need to turn back up into a rocky terrain again. So traction, not part of the package at the moment. To be able to take on a route like this, you need a vehicle with a lot of capabilities. Now remember, capabilities is not just high ground clearance and big wheels. It's also got to do with the flex and so forth of the vehicle. And with these Jeeps you have the option of sway bar disconnect that gives it a lot more flex, which pushes your capabilities a lot higher. With a slightly different lane choice as Relene, I got stuck on my diff. Johan came in, pushed the boulder out of the way, and I was able to continue again. As you can see, this whole route, or should I say this whole riverbank, is consisting out of rocks from small pebbles right up to big boulders. And as we go along the route, the small pebbles tends to give away underneath traction, so this makes it a challenge on its own.
Traction is really a difficult situation at the moment. All these rocks is extremely loose. I mean, the flooding didn't happen so long ago, so everything here is still very fresh.
And also another thing to mention, as a 4x4 terrain, this is still extremely raw, as we are only the second group to pass through this way. Now remember, the camera just does not give any justice to the difficulty level of this obstacle course. As you can see, grey rhino coming through, gripping here and there, pushing the limits and pushing the flex to go through this obstacle. And Ronnie coming through with Yapidi plus Bucky, using a way different tactic, as he's got the smallest wheels of the convoy. With only 35-inch wheels, he needs to use a bit more momentum and still getting stuck on the same boulder as I did. Rulov coming in, moving this boulder out of the way, and Yapidi plus Bucky can go through.
Right, the section where I am now is where we are literally in a hole or in a ditch. Not sure which one of the two it is, but nevertheless it's a tricky section to get out between your small and big boulders, and choosing a correct line, because again everything is loose and you need to climb steep up. So yeah. Engaging both front and rear lockers to get through this guy. Not finding any traction at the moment, so alright, the suggestion I got from Johan is to reverse a little bit and to take it with a little bit of momentum to bump it through. enough. So let's do that again. Right, choosing a completely different line to get out of this guy. Let's see. I can't see anything in front of me, so a line spotter is quite crucial at the moment. Still can't see the road, even though I'm at flat surface. Right, I'm going through a sandbank again, this time leaning to my left hand side with a cliff also on my left hand side, rock face. So again, I don't want to slide or do anything to have damage on the left side of the Jeep. But I must be honest, having off-camber situations inside this vehicle that is so capable is really something else. You don't feel like you're going to fall over, to be honest. I'm turning to my right and the Jeep just wants to turn to the left, and I'm coming into a situation where my line is definitely not going to make it. Right, it's a new line. Let's see how we're going to have this situation now. This is concentration at its best. Everything's so slippery and loose. Huge OPH to the left at the moment. Seems like I need to activate the lock. Again, both front and rear. I definitely did hit something on the left.
And as you can see, when Miller is coming through on this obstacle, the Radar Renegade tires from Efficient Express just impresses as they go along. No matter what the obstacle course, no matter what the terrain, these tires just keeps on going and going and going. I must be honest, this Hilux really does impress me, doing all the obstacles that the high capable Jeeps are doing, and he's doing it without a front locker, just a rear locker, and even without weight on the back. Well done, Ronnie.
Bjorn, first of all, thank you very much for the opportunity that I have to drive your Jeep today. It's a
pleasure.
complete different experience to what I'm used to. Now tell me a bit more about the Jeep. What does it have? What does it not have? What's the features about it?
Yeah, so this particular model used to be a 3.8 V6 manual, and what I subsequently did is I basically did a conversion on it with a Lexus, believe it or not, because in general it works well with these type of vehicles. It's a very smooth engine and the gearbox as well. So I decided to go that way, and also because of the cost. It's a very cost-effective modification, and it works very well in the Jeep. You can experience it, maybe.
Absolutely, it's very smooth.
And over and above that, all of it is dead standard in terms of drivetrain. So you've got your lockers in the front, your lockers in the rear. It's got the load transfer case of a Jeep. And yeah, the suspension that it has is a 3.5 inch lift, and yeah, the tires 37s on beadlock rims, so it's very much kitted for this type of terrain, so it does well.
Absolutely. Well, I can feel the experience is completely different. I mean, where I'm used to giving throttle to get some over rocks, this is just literally above idles and you just crawl
All the way.
Thank you again for the opportunity.
It's a pleasure.
Climbing up this hill again on a very off-camber situation, attempting it first without any lockers. So let's see. I can't see anything again. I'm facing up. I can't even see Johan's hands at the moment. I can't see his hands, so you need to talk to me.
Okay, kom maar net, Etienne.
This is extremely steep
Ja,
up.
kan je klein een keer uitvragen? Yes, kom aan. Niet zo, niet alleen.
The Grey Rhino coming in next, starting off on an off-camber situation and then struggling to find grip. However, the capabilities of the Grey Rhino and Miller behind the steering wheel makes this one epic team. And I must be honest, I'm taking my hat off for Ronnie, who's doing so extremely well with Yapi on this obstacle course where it's only meant for big wheels. He's doing this quite well with this Hilux.
starting this next challenge again with limited traction on a huge off-camber section, but nevertheless the vehicle has got the capabilities to see it through. This specific obstacle has got various line options, so each driver chooses his own line and will take it from there. However, there's also one section that is extremely difficult that only the Bad Habit Jeep will take it. Wat de kant was dit?
Klaar, ben ik heb al gedrukt. Dus niks in, kom.
And Cornay from Zone 4x4 knows exactly what to do to fix this 40mm sidewall cut.
Dit is nou moeilik om te sien waar hy is, Johan.
Kom ek sê, miskien moet jy dit dan pad.
Ons gaan 'n paar plans hier insit, hoor. Ja. Oelala. Hele ding met ja, ons gaan 'n paar hier insit. Okay.
Druk julle maar nou so langs mekaar in.
Alright, Cornay, while you're busy there, is it possible just to explain more or less what's the damage and what we are busy doing?
We've got about a 40mm cut in the tire, sidewall cut. We cleaned it now with a poker, and we're going to put in plugs, most probably about 5 or 6 plugs. That should stop the leak.
Cornay, jou bene is so wit net. Dit blur die hele foto uit.
Hierdie, goed, dit is 'n ander definisie vir snot.
Maar hierdie lyk nou baie goed.
Hierdie is 'n onkastelletjie wat ek in 2013 gedoen het. 2011.
Wat is daai swart
Ek kan nie die logika van dit. Dis soos 'n Vaseline.
Ja. Ja?
En ek weet nie hoekom nie.
Ek sien nie aan jou hande.
Miskien is dit vir dit. Ek weet nie.
Dit is vir hy ongeluk dekking.
O, is dit op die tool?
Die kappie dit vas sit.
Ja, dit maak sin.
Okay.
Alright, Cornay, how many plugs do we have there in total now?
We've got 7 plugs. Looks like we had a cut on this side. It ran through and then penetrated on this side. About 40 mm long. 7 plugs. Looks like it did the job. We'll see now when they move the vehicle forward if any air escapes out of that. But yeah, I think that's particularly well.
Alright, thank you very much for your assistance. We highly appreciate it.
No problem.
So at first we thought that the wheel was actually debeating from the rim. However, we were completely wrong. A 40mm cut on the inside. Who would have thought that?
As difficult as this obstacle course was for the day already, we came to this specific obstacle called Trippe Trappe. And here is where the boys and the men got separated. And taking on Trippe Trappe first, we have Swanee with Bad Habit. And even though Bad Habit has got all these major capabilities, he still had to struggle a little bit before he could reach the top. Taking taking on Tripper Trapper next with 37-inch wheels. It's a grey Rhino with Miller behind the steering wheel. I personally think the momentum was just not enough to bounce over that first step. So Miller comes in for attempt number 2, and at this point is where the side shaft broke off.
Hy moet weer goed gelyk klim.
Okay, I think it's my left side shaft, back side shaft that broke with the attempt of Tripper Trapper. But yes, I think in 10 years time something's bound to snap.
Eventually. So basically what you're saying is, unfortunately you cannot continue with the trail.
No, so it's back to the camp for me.
Alright, so this is where we greet you for the day.
Enjoy.
Well, thank you for participating and sorry that you're out.
Ja, wat hy in kort gesê het is, ek moet net momentum hou en links en nagaan.
Alright, Ronnie, except for the tactic, how do you feel about this one?
Ja, ek dink dit is seker. Hy's 'n oom obstakel.
Is it the oom obstacle?
Kyk wel gaan hy. Dit is die obstakel, maar dit's reg.
Alright, so the bad habit Jeep made it, Miller did not.
Ja, riding is presies.
So you're the third person attempting it.
Ja, kyk maar.
Alright, let's see what this Hilux does.
Alright, good.
What's this plaasbakkie?
Die is Japie dan maar.
Japie my maat.
Japie.
Throughout the day, Ronnie amazed us by taking on every single obstacle with his Platbank, where all the Jeeps went. Even though the capabilities of this Hilux is not as much, he went through each and every one of them. And again, also taking on Tripper Trapper. Well, that on its own is already an achievement.
So 'n bietjie gewig op gegaan. Nie baie nie, maar hy moet hom net kyk. Dit sê as hy wiele trap nie vas.
Moet ek daar gaan sit?
Ja, dit sal ek doen.
taking this obstacle fearlessly, countless times, again and again and again, and eventually he actually manages to go through to the top. Ronnie, well done, and oh no, you are stuck on your diff right on the top. Well, luckily Bad Habit is there to pull you through.
Ronnie, so you attempted this obstacle, and in all honesty I actually thought that you would make it. You did quite so well, even though it was a few attempts to get to the top, but you did so extremely well. It's just unfortunate on that very last step that you got hung up on your diff. But other than that, how do you feel about your, let's call it, prestation?
Well, this is 4x4, man. Yeah, it's what we do. We go out, we test our vehicles to the max, and we enjoy it. Sometimes stuff happens, stuff breaks, but yeah, we still enjoy it.
Awesome.
That's what it's about.
Luckily you didn't break something, so you're not going home yet. But
No.
this one,
I snapped the side shaft. But
you did?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
I
But
missed
it's
that
alright.
completely.
Yeah, no. At the top there, when I was struggling, wheel hooked and it snapped. But it's alright. We're still 3x4, so we'll continue on. No worries.
Well, quite interesting that this one obstacle claimed 2 side shafts then for the day.
I think we must rename it side shaft hill. Yeah?
Side shaft hill, side shaft territory, however you want to call it. This guy is no sissy.
So jy kan hom nie ry met daai side shaft wat af is nie.
Nee. Ek sal dit nie aanbeveel
Hou
nie.
die side shaft die wiel vas.
Want daar is nie 'n free floating shaft nie. So die shaft druk binne in die carrier in
So
en
nou
dan
kan
het
die
hy 'n bearing
shaft
op die punt.
nou kan die shaft dit doen.
Ja,
In die binne nou hy kan dit binne in die tube doen.
Ja.
Hy gaan 'n hele tube op.
So plus hy gaan die bearing opfok. Hy
Maar daai bearing is anyway moeite. Jy kom ek stel voor Swannie, kom ons
Kyk,
ry
of jy
gou
nou
laat
function
ons
kry.
laat ons gou sein kry en bel ons gou vir Peer.
Yep.
Dan gaan hy gou kantoor toe en dan moet ek gou vir ons 'n side shaft bring.
As hy, so. Ons los vir Grey Ry nou vir vanaand hierso. Hy het die agterste side shaft het bietjie seer gekry daar. En toe ons wou ry, ons het geweet die ou het ook 'n side shaft gebreek, maar toe kon hy nie meer draai nie. So hy moet nou maar dit fix.
Ons is baie gelowig.
Ja. Goeie vriend Rolof wag maar net vir ons. Want die man staan die pad vol.
Toyota dan.
Dis 'n man dit. En hierso sit ons. Kyk hoe hard werk hulle. Net olie, rugga, hande. Okay. Daarom is hulle besig.
Ons sit hier in ons kantoor en
Sien jy hier in my sakkie van stukkies kyk, né?
Wat het daar gedoen?
Dis oor wat oor is van die serie.
Hoekom lyk hulle so in stukkies?
Man, ek vermoed iets met hierdie tyre het dit te doen, maar
Nee,
hele military.
ons hou 'n Zoom meeting.
ja.
Maar ons is nou daar. Ons wen daarom. Ons gou die serie uitgehaal. Ons gaan aan mekaar sit. En dan gaan ons 3x4 by 4. Ja.
Ek dink ons
Dis 'n nuwe klas vir Dakar.
Ja, ek dink ons is nou so 3 minute besig. So ons is op skedule.
Dis nou klaar. Kyk. Die weer het ons daarom toegelaat om te werk of te staan en kyk hoe hulle werk. Zai. Daar is Corneil van Zoun het vir my 'n side shaft organise, so hy's op pad. Ons sal dit môreoggend gou insit en fix. So. Dankie vir Corneil. En ons sal maar vanaand net 'n vleisie braai en praat oor vandag se verkeerde besluite.
For the 2 vehicles that got damaged on the route, Miller had to get some parts from Pretoria and they had to fix the vehicle literally later that day. And Ronnie, well, he had some spare parts with him, so he fixed the vehicle right there and then and drove back to the camp. Thank you to everyone who participated in the Platbank series, and thank you to everyone who watched this episode. Now stay tuned for scenes of our next adventure at Wolwekloof.
hier in die bosveld en die vuurtjie brand te mooi. Die songesig oor die rots en klip en natuur wat ons uitnooi. Ons ry waar ander net kan droom en die son sak in die bos. Ons bosryers het modderbloed en ons kry jou in die bos.